Get your fat ass out of the Mexican restaurant. Get your fat ass over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your smug ass, teeny weeny, pink arm, big gut around. Nobody wants to see that shit.
Okay, up next, we've got to check in with some of the most toxic woke podcasters on the planet. And these are the two hosts of the I've Had It podcast, which started out as a funny and wholesome and savage and not particularly political podcast that I actually used to enjoy once upon a time, but then quickly turned into kind of lowbrow MSNBC rage bait political commentary and softball interviews with Democratic politicians like Kamala Harris and Barack Obama. Now, what's remarkable about these women is that they don't seem to realize how perfectly they typify everything that people find repulsive about modern progressivism and its rhetoric and its ideology, the acerbicness of it, the disdain for people who disagree with them, the reverse racism and pretty open bigotry. So we're going to listen to a clip that's going really viral of Jennifer Welch, one of the two main hosts here, that really, it has it all. Take a listen to this.
I've had it with white people that triple trumped, that have the nerve and the audacity to walk into a Mexican restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, an Indian restaurant. I really genuinely believe that if you triple trumped, then you are all about preserving the lack of culture in white America that has led us to where people go and Bible thump with their AR-15s. Like, that's the only thing that I see when you get all white people together in the United States. There's no culture at all. So they have to go borrow culture from people. Even the word woke, they've borrowed from Black culture. I don't think you should be able to enjoy anything but Cracker Barrel. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel. Quit watching NBA basketball. Quit watching sports that are dominated by African Americans. Quit going to Mexican restaurants. You want white culture, you go live in it. But do not participate in any of the shit that makes America cool.
Wow. Wow. So it's hilarious to me on so many levels, but first and foremost, how quick the body positivity goes out the window, and how suddenly it's fine to fat shame and body shame people as soon as it's evil, dastardly white Trump supporters. And then it's fine. And, I'm sorry, but again, I don't like to comment on people's looks, but when you've had that much work done, you should not be commenting on other people's appearances. Like, you just shouldn't. Not everyone has the luxury of reality TV money or whatever you do to go under the knife dozens of times and then still kind of look like an alien. Like, I don't, why are you browbeating your fellow citizens like this and race shaming them? The Cracker Barrel thing, first of all, weird strays being thrown at Cracker Barrel, which is perfectly fine. But then this idea that white people only support Trump and the Trump movement is all just preserving white culture. I think there's a fringe element that genuinely does consider that kind of thing, and I condemn that. But a lot of Black people and Hispanic people did vote for Trump. A lot of white people voted for Trump for reasons that have nothing to do with race or white culture, which I don't even think is a thing. I don't even think white people is a real or meaningful category with much or any commonality between it, because it encapsulates people of all sorts of different ethnicities and descents with their own culture and food and traditions and heritage. So, by the way, which does exist. I mean, so you're saying Italian people don't have culture? You're saying like what? All sorts of different Spanish people, all sorts of different white people have no culture of their own, right? I don't think that's true. And it's also just a bizarre way to speak about people. This toxic identitarian worldview where you are shaming people. And what exactly about voting for Trump is inconsistent? And I didn't vote for Trump. I voted independent, and I'm pretty critical of him. But what exactly about being a Trump voter means you can't or shouldn't go to a Mexican restaurant? Is she just conflating Mexicans with illegal immigrants? Is that it? Because those aren't the same thing, Jennifer. And you're kind of actually the one sounding a bit racist with that suggestion. to me. Same with like, what does any of this have to do with Indian people or Indian restaurants? I mean, yeah, there's some debates about like visas and whether to increase or decrease H-1Bs and different things, but like what any of that has to do with whether you can attend or go patronize an Indian restaurant is not clear to me whatsoever. Also, why do you want these people to lose business? That's your way of being a helpful ally to these minority groups, taking customers away from them because you're shaming them for who they voted for. And there's just zero accountability or reflection on the fact that actually toxic, identitarian, woke white people like yourself are the ones that drove away so many normal, moderate Americans from the Democratic Party. The way that you speak about groups of people, the way you collectivize, the way you assign blame and guilt on the base of demographic, the way you are hateful and judgmental to people who think differently than you. That is what has repulsed so many people, including plenty of non-white people, away from the Democratic Party. And these two perfectly embody it. Let's watch the rest of this clip that's blowing up.
And what makes America cool is multiculturalism. And if you want to triple Trump and you want to browbeat DEI and you want to browbeat gay people and you want to browbeat black people, as you've been doing for 400 years, and you want to browbeat this generation of immigrants that come over here and open up businesses earnestly, pay their taxes, you want to demonize them and call them rapists and felons and all this shit, when the felon is the teeny weeny mushroom cock piece of shit, Kankles McTaco tits at the top of the ticket. I have had it from top to bottom. White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your smug ass, teeny weeny, pink arm, big gut around. Nobody wants to see that shit. No one.
There is so much here, like so much to unpack. And again, she just comes off as so unhinged, so unstable, so full of hate in her heart. Really sad. But also, go back to what you people have been doing for 400 years of shaming black people and gay people and all this stuff. Ma'am, I've been doing nothing for 400 years. The average Trump supporter has been doing nothing for 400 years because we haven't been alive that long. You're suggesting that we bear blame for what other people who lived hundreds of years before us did? And do you know that the US is only, 250 years old? It's not 400 years old. Like, what? And a lot of this is hallucinated. First off, opposing DEI does not mean that you oppose diversity. It's the equity and the reverse discrimination involved in a lot of that, and the identity obsession that people object to, not the fact that people of all walks of life and background can exist side by side. I think most critics of DEI, myself included, view that as valuable and, yes, as part of what makes America great. I don't agree that it's the only thing that does. I think our institutions and our Constitution and our values also make us great, not just our multiculturalism, though I am a proponent of that, though I think there's a nuanced conversation to be had about some of that. Anyway, though, what has Trump done against gay people other than openly support gay marriage and appoint the highest ranking gay official in the cabinet ever with the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent? Like, I feel they're just going woke Mad Libs. They're just rattling off the list of things that liberals are supposed to care about and assuming Trump bad on all of them. I've been very critical of some of his immigration policies and other things, but to just say that, oh, he's everything under the sun. How is Trump against black people? Again, in terms of what he's doing as president, his electoral campaign, anything, I don't really see much to go off of there. You're just making these assumptions and you're trying to force people into these identity boxes based on things you hallucinated, like the red wine and mixing it with the Ambien. It hit too hard, Jennifer. You need to keep it separate. Your doctor told you to stop mixing. I just listen. I find, and whenever I see a clip from this podcast going viral, I find it sad because they are very prominent influencers. They are prominent progressive personalities now. And yet their approach is exactly what has led the Democratic Party and progressive media and commentators astray in the first place, and just made their brand so incredibly toxic to normal people. And in a time when I really do think the Republican Party is becoming very unserious and very extreme and very much captured in a cult of personality around Trump, I wish we had a normal Democratic Party. I wish we had a sane, stable alternative. But as long as people like this are the messengers, we do not. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't yet and hit that like button while you're at it. And that'll be it for today's episode of the Brad versus Everyone podcast, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Do send in your voicemails for our Voicemail Friday episodes, and we'll talk again real soon.